जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधार गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार अष्टतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यालुलभविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर्षितश्मर भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालुलभविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर्षितश्मर भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालुलभविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर्षितश्मर भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालुलभविष्ट महाभागवत शिल गौरकिशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्याल विश्व वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा दंडवत pranams. All right, so we are continuing on with our reading of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. All right. Oh, 1 second. I'm just gonna quickly do this. It'll take me 1 second. This is I have a WhatsApp group where I put the TT every day, like the countdown. Okay, almost done. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. I'm going to skip some of these because I started late. Tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vegyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshaya क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Also, since we're starting late, I'm just going to jump to the last verse of this. Tarki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koila Tribhuvan Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar Vrindavana Dasamukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they're described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shnitai Gaur Premanante Hari Hari. Wow. Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj's centennial Vyas Puja is only 9 days away. And Ramnami also. All right. So, chapter 4 of Antya-khaṇḍa Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. Of Śrī Mādhavendra. So we've gone over this already a couple times now. I think we can just jump to the part where I'll read all the verses describing the festival that took place in Advaita Acarya's house with Mahaprabhu for the appearance day of Śrī Mādhavendra Purī. Let's jump there. Mādhavendra. Okay. Haribol Satya Mataji. Oh, and Haribol Raseshwari Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, and Rukmini Didi. Haribol, everybody. Oh, something I just did like half an hour ago. I made here, I'll just show you. I made a japa walk. Like I just went on a japa walk to Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi. I walked along the Ganga. And I think it should be uploaded by now. Here, let's see if it's uploaded. Oh, it's still uploading. Anyways, it will be done any minute. Hey, where is it? Okay, 27 minutes. Anyways, if anybody wants to, like, I'm not sure if it's like a nice meditation, but you can chant and see the japa walk along the Ganga to Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi, and then I walk back. It's 40 minutes. Okay, so actually, this part was so important about Vaishnava Parad. Maybe I should just read this. Yeah, let's start here. Okay. Yeah, no, this part is so important. Let's do this. Okay, so after Murari Gupta, he offered prayers to the Lord in the house of Advaita Acarya, and then Mahaprabhu gave him the benediction. He said, "Listen, Gupta, by my mercy, you will be the servant of Ram without disturbance, birth after birth. If a person takes shelter of you for even a moment, he will certainly attain the lotus feet of Ram." When everyone heard the benediction Lord Chaitanya gave to Murari Gupta, they all exclaimed, "Jai, Jai." In this way, the lion-like Gaur enjoyed his pastimes, surrounded by his servants, who were like bumblebees at the lotus feet of the Lord. Yes, Satyamataji, totally use that. Oh, we'll see how you like it. I also did it of Govardhan Parikrama. I did a full Govardhan Parikrama and I recorded it all, but I haven't uploaded that yet. At that time, one leper came and stood before the Lord. He fell flat before the Lord, raised his 2 arms, and cried pathetically. He said, "O merciful Lord, you have appeared in this world to deliver the living entities. You are by nature unhappy to see the distress of others. Therefore, I have come before you. I am suffering from leprosy, and my body is burning. Please tell me how I may be relieved. When Mahaprabhu heard the leper's words, he began to chastise him in an angry mood. Get out of here, you great sinner. Leave my sight. Just by seeing you, one incurs sin. The phrase gucho means get lost, get lost. If even a most pious person sees your face, he will certainly meet with distress that day. You are the most sinful, wretched blasphemer of Vaishnavas. There is much more misery awaiting you. O wicked-minded one, you are unable to tolerate this burning pain. So how will you tolerate the suffering in Kumbhipaka? The entire world is purified by chanting the name of a Vaishnava. Personalities headed by Brahma glorify the characteristics of such Vaishnavas. There's nothing superior to the worship of the Vaishnavas, for by worshiping such Vaishnavas, one attains the inconceivable Lord Krishna. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Krishna declares that a Vaishnava is more dear to him than Shesh, Lakshmi, Brahma, Shiva, and his own body. And then he gives this verse, Na tata me priyatama atma yonir na shankara, na cha shankarshano na shrir, naivatma chayata bhavan. O Uddhav, neither my son Brahma, nor my former Shankar, nor my brother Sankarshan, nor my wife Lakshmi is as dear to me as you are a devotee. What's more, even my own self is not as dear. So Mahaprabhu said, therefore, anyone who blasphemes such a Vaishnava suffers miseries in birth, life, and death. The education, high birth, and austerities of a sinful, wretched person who blasphemes Vaishnavas are all useless. Krishna does not accept the worship of a sinful person who blasphemes Vaishnavas. When a Vaishnava dances, the earth becomes glorious, and its glance counteracts sins in the 10 directions. When a Vaishnava raises his arms and dances, the inauspiciousness in the heavenly planets is totally vanquished. Śrīvāsa Pandit is such an exalted devotee. Yet you are so sinful that you blasphemed him. Therefore, this burning pain of leprosy is nothing compared to the punishment that you will receive later from Yamaraj. You are not fit to be seen by me, and I am unable to deliver you. When that leper heard the Lord's reply, he took straw between his teeth and spoke with great humility. I did not know anything. Out of madness, I ruined myself by blaspheming a Vaishnava. Therefore, I have received appropriate punishment. O Lord, now think about my welfare. It is the natural duty of a saintly person to deliver the distressed. Saintly people display mercy even on the offenders. Therefore, I take shelter of you. If you neglect me, who will deliver me? You know the proper atonement for everyone, and you are the Father of all. Please, therefore, tell me, what is my atonement? I have already received suitable punishment for blaspheming a Vaishnava. The Lord said, leprosy is insignificant compared to the other punishments for a person who blasphemes a Vaishnava. You have received only a temporary punishment. There is more to come, for you are fit to be punished by Yamaraj. The blasphemer of Vaishnavas repeatedly suffers 84,000 punishments awarded by Yamaraj. O leper, go quickly and take shelter at the feet of Śrīvāsa. Since you have committed an offense against him, you will be relieved when he forgives you. When a thorn enters the body, it must come out from the same place. If a thorn gets stuck in the foot, how can it be taken out of the shoulder? I have told you the means for your deliverance. If Śrīvāsa Pandit forgives you, you will be relieved of your suffering. His intelligence is most pure. If you approach him, he will easily forgive your offense and deliver you. After hearing the Lord's most truthful statements, The devotees all chanted, Jai, Jai. After hearing the Lord's instructions, that leper offered obeisances and immediately left. Thereafter, that leper received the mercy of Śrīvāsa Pandit. He was thus delivered from his suffering as his offenses were destroyed. The Lord of Vaikuntha thus personally explains the havoc that is created by blaspheming a Vaishnava. If anyone still blasphemes a Vaishnava, he will be punished by the Supreme Lord, Śrī Caitanya. These verses are really very important. The quarrels between Vaishnavas that one sees are not to be taken seriously, for they are pastimes in relationship to Krishna. Let's read the Bengali for this. Vaishnave je dekoho gala gali, paramarte nahe ite, Krishna kutuhali. Although Satyabhama and Rukmini abuse each other and appear as opponents, they have a common spiritual goal. Even though they do gala gali. The paramarte ekatana deki bhinnahena. One second. Similarly, there are no differences between one Vaishnava and another. Differences are created by Lord Chaitanya for his pastimes. E mato Vaishnave bhinna nai, bhinna korayen ranga, Chaitanya Goshai. Bhinna korayen. Like Mahaprabhu causes the bhinna, the differences, the separation to happen. It's his pastime, it's his ranga. Therefore, if one takes the side of one Vaishnava and blasphemes another, he is doomed. Ite je eka Vaishnaver paka hoy, anya Vaishnavere ninde, she jai koi. If one serves the Supreme Lord with one hand and gives him distress with the other hand, then how can he be benefited? Eka haste Ishwarer shevay keval, ar haste dukha dile, tar ki kushal. Tar ki kushal. One who understands that all devotees are limbs of Krishna's body is a most sober person. One who regards Krishna and the Vaishnavas as non-different while serving the lotus feet of Krishna is delivered from material existence. One who chants or hears these auspicious topics never commits offenses to the Vaishnavas. So these are the most important verses ever. Because if we chant and hear these auspicious topics, then Vaishnava aparadhatar na janme sarvata will never at any time commit offenses to Vaishnavas. They will never sprout up a nest, this Vaishnava aparad. In this way, Sri Gaurasundar enjoyed transcendental happiness as he resided in the house of Advaita at Śāntipura. By divine arrangement, the auspicious appearance day of Śrī Mādhavendra Purī arrived. Although there is no difference between Madhavendra and Advaita, Acharya Goshai was Madhavendra's disciple. Verse 8. Haribol Vidyalala Sadidi and Sumanashil. Hare Krishna. What we're starting at 460. Okay. It is a certain fact that Sri Gaurasundar constantly resided in the body of Śrī Mādhavendra Purī. Oh, Haribol Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. Sorry, I didn't see you before. Hare Krishna. Mahavendra Puri's devotional service to Vishnu is indescribable. By Krishna's mercy, he was always fully empowered. Now hear attentively the auspicious narration of how Advaita became his disciple. Before the advent of Lord Chaitanya, the entire world was devoid of devotional service to Vishnu. Yet by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, even at that time, Mahavendra always floated in an ocean of ecstatic love. His body was always decorated with hairs standing on ends, tears shivering, roaring, thundering, laughing, becoming stunned, and perspiration. He was always so absorbed in meditation on Govinda that he did not know what he was doing. Even while walking on the road, he would dance in ecstasy and chant the name of Hari. Sometimes he would lose consciousness in ecstasy for 6 to 9 hours. Sometimes, while absorbed in feelings of separation, he would shed tears like streams of the Ganga. Such topics are certainly wonderful. Sometimes he would laugh loudly, and sometimes in the mellows of ecstatic love, he would forget to dress. In this way, Madhavendra enjoyed the happiness of Krishna consciousness. Yet he was most unhappy to see that the world was devoid of devotional service. He would daily think about people's welfare. His desire was that Krishna would advent. No one knew anything about the festivals related to Krishna or the all-night chanting of Krishna's names and glories. The only religious principle and pious activity that people knew was to sing the glories of Mangal Chandi throughout the night. The only deities they knew were Shashti and Vishahari, the goddess of snakes. They worshipped these deities with great pride. Some people worshipped the demons with wine and meat for the purpose of increasing their wealth and family. Everyone was happy to hear the glories of the yogis, the best of the sense enjoyers, and the best of the rulers. Only the most pious persons would recite the names of Pundarikaksha and Govinda at the time of taking bath. By the influence of Vishnu's illusory energy, people did not know who was a Vaishnava, what was saṅkīrtana, or what was dancing and crying for Krishna. The entire world was entangled in the mode of ignorance. Śrī Mādhavendra Purī became distressed on seeing the condition of the people. He did not find anyone fit to converse with. When he tried to speak with the sannyasi would claim to be Narayan. Because of this unhappy situation, he would not speak with sannyasis. He could not find any place where devotional service to Krishna was discussed. Even those renowned as jnanis, yogis, ascetics, and sannyasis never spoke about the glories of service to the Lord. All teachers simply taught a dry argument. They did not accept that Krishna has a form. On seeing and hearing such things, Śrī Mādhavendra Purī became unhappy. He considered going to reside in the forest. Why am I looking for a Vaishnava among ordinary people? In this world, I've not even heard the word Vaishnava. Therefore, I should leave these people and go to the forest so that I do not have to see them. The forest is a better place to live because I do not have to speak with non-devotees there. While he was unhappily contemplating in this way, by the will of the Supreme Lord, he met Advaita. Haribo Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu. We're just reading about Madhavendra Purī, the recap. So this is, yeah. So Madhavendra Purī, by the will of the Supreme Lord, Madhavendra Purī met Advaita. Advaita Acharya was greatly unhappy to see the entire world devoid of devotional service to Vishnu. Still, by the mercy of Krishna, the lion-like Advaita always preached the devotional service of Vishnu with firm determination. He constantly taught Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad Bhagavatam. He taught that devotional service was the purport of these two literatures. At that time, Mahavendra Mahashaya arrived at the house of Advaita. As soon as Advaita saw the signs of a Vaishnava in Mahavendra, Advaita offered him obeisances. And Madhavendra Purī embraced Advaita and soaked his body with tears of ecstatic love. They both became so absorbed in discussing topics of Krishna consciousness between themselves that they forgot about their bodies. The ecstatic love of Madhav Purī is beyond description. He would lose consciousness upon seeing a cloud. As soon as he heard the name of Krishna, he would roar loudly. In one moment, thousands of transformations of ecstatic love for Krishna would manifest in his body. Advaita Mahashaya was most pleased to see the manifestation of devotional service to Vishnu in Madhavendra Purī. Advaita then took instruction from him. This is how Madhavendra and Advaita met. Since then, Advaita joyfully celebrated Madhavendra Puri's appearance day every year. By divine arrangement, that auspicious day arrived, and Advaita happily began to make arrangements for the occasion. Sri Gaurasundar and his associates all felt great happiness on that auspicious day. there was no end to the arrangements made by Acharya Goshai to celebrate that occasion. Ingredients flowed in from all directions. No one knew who brought them or where they came from. Since everyone had love for Maharavendra Puri, they all accepted appropriate responsibilities. Mother Shachi took the responsibility of cooking, and the wives of the Vaishnavas agreed to help her. Nityananda Prabhu was unlimitedly happy. He took the responsibility of worshipping the Vaishnavas. Someone said, "I will grind whatever sandalwood paste is required." Another said, "I will make flower garlands." Someone else said, "I will bring the water." Another person said, "My duty will be to clean the place." Someone said, "My responsibility will be to wash the feet of all the Vaishnavas." Someone prepared flags, someone put up the canopy, someone brought the ingredients to the storeroom, and someone distributed them. Some devotees began kirtan, and some danced in ecstasy. Some of the devotees chanted the name of Hari in the kirtan, while some blew conch shells and some rang bells. Some of them engaged in preparing the ingredients for worship, while someone took the role as the head pujari. Being absorbed in the mellows of transcendental happiness, all the devotees engaged in various activities according to their desires. Nothing could be heard in the four directions other than the name of Hari and the instructions to eat, drink, take or give. Kao, pio, leho, deho, ar haridwani. The sounds of the saṅkīrtana, accompanied by conch shells, bells, mridangas, mandiras are small karatals, and karatals, was tumultuous. In their transcendental ecstasy, no one displayed external consciousness. The house of Advaita thus transformed into the abode of Vaikuntha. All right, so that's where we read up to the day before yesterday. So now continuing on. Apane Shri Gaurachandra Parama Santoshe Sambharer Sajja Deki Bulen Harishe. Shri Gaurasundar personally wandered about, checking the arrangements with great satisfaction. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. The phrase Sambharer Sajja means the arrangement of ingredients. Tandul dekhoe Prabhu ghar dui chari Parvat pramana dekhe kashta sari sari. The Lord saw that there were 2 to 4 rooms filled with rice, and there were rows of wood for burning stacks. There were rows of wood for burning, stacks like mountains. Ghar pancha dekhe ghata randhaner sthali. Ghar dui chari dekhe mudger viali. He saw 5 rooms filled with earthen pots for cooking, and he saw 2 to 4 rooms filled with skinless mung dal. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase mudger viali refers to mung dal without the skin. Nana vida vastra deke ghara pancha sata ghara dasha var prabhu deke khola pata. He saw 5 to 7 rooms filled with various cloth, and 10 to 12 rooms filled with leaf plates and leaf cups. Wow. It's a lot of rooms filled with leaf plates and leaf cups. And 7 rooms just filled with cloth. Ghar dui chari prabhu deke chipitaka sahasra kandi deke kodoloko. The Lord also saw 2 to 4 rooms filled with flat rice, and he saw thousands of bananas. He saw thousands of banana bunches. Na jani koteka nari khela guapan kota hoite asiya hoilo vidyaman. No one knew from where so many coconuts, betel nuts, and betel leaves came. Portol barthaku thod alu shak man koto ghar bhoriache nahi ko praman. No one could estimate how many rooms were filled with, I think this is referring to portal, right? Portal, eggplant, banana stems, potatoes, shak, and the upper portions of the arabi plant. I don't know what the arabi plant is. And for those of you who don't know what portal is, or paramal in Hindi, yeah, let's look at, I'll show you a picture. Paramal, oops. This is one of my favorite vegetables here. This. Yeah, it's my favorite vegetable, I think, in India. And then let's see what Arabi is. What is it? Arabi vegetables. Oh, okay. Of course, Arabi. Oh, I know. I just not used to seeing it written like that. I'm used to seeing it like that, Arabi. I'm used to hearing it like that, Arabi. Yeah, of course I know what this is. Very common. It's like a potato, but a little bit more slimy. Okay. Sahasra sahasra goda. Dekhe dadi dugda. Kir ikhu danda ankurer sane mudga. He saw thousands of pitchers filled with milk and yogurt, and he saw condensed milk, sugar candy, and sprouted mung. Toila lavanya grita kailasha dekhe prabhu jata shakala ananta likhi. Oops, sorry. Toila lavanya grita kailash dekhe prabhu jata shakala ananta likhi bare pari kota. The Lord saw unlimited pots of oil, salt, and ghee. I am unable to describe everything. Ati amanushi dekhi shakala sambhar. Chitte jeno prabhur hoilo chamatkar. On seeing those extraordinary arrangements, the Lord's heart was struck with wonder. Prabhu bole e sampati manusher noi. Acharya mahesha heno mor chitte loy. The Lord said, these opulences are not possible for an ordinary human being. I think Advaita Acharya must be Mahesh. Manushero eteka ki sampati sambhave, e sampati shakale sambhave Mahadeve. How can an ordinary human being possess such opulence? Only Mahadev possesses such opulence. Sorry. Bhujilaya Acharya Mahesha Avatar. Ei mata hasi Prabhu bole bar bar. Chole Advaiter Tattva Mahaprabhu koi. Je hoy sukriti she paramanande loy. Dan vakye anadar anastha jahar. Tare Śrī Advaita hoy Agni Avatar. Jadyapi Advaita Koti Chandra Shushita. Tatapi Chaitanya Vimukher Kala na. I can understand that Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahesh. The Lord smiled as he repeatedly spoke in this way. In this way, Mahaprabhu indirectly glorified the position of Advaita. A pious person accepts this truth with great pleasure. Advaita is like the incarnation of fire for anyone who is faithless and who disrespects the words of Mahaprabhu. Although Advaita is as cooling as millions of moons, he is like the fire of destruction for persons averse to Lord Chaitanya. Gaudiya Bhashya. After seeing various opulences and the arrangement of foodstuffs at the house of Śrī Advaita, Gaurasundar became greatly pleased and encouraged Advaita Prabhu and future acharyas following in the footsteps of Advaita Prabhu to conduct festivals with great opulence like this. Sorry. But envious people engaged in service with great opulence. But envious people engaged in service with great opulence desire to go to hell by considering him primarily concerned with opulence. The minimization of the acharya's position because of his external display of opulence in the course of his own cultivation of sweetness may be considered proper in the eyes of impersonalists, but it is not approved by either Gaurasundar or his devotees. The devotees of the Lord are like fire, or Jama, the Lord of death, for those who are envious of the Lord and the devotees. When the Gaudiya Math conducted festivals, processions, and other opulent functions to benefit the living entities, the sinful Sahajyas initiated the principle of enviousness practiced by members of the Kuliya Sampradayas, and they brought about their own inauspiciousness by criticizing the activities of the servants of the Gaudiya Math. These people who were envious of Lord Chaitanya realized that the activities of the Acharya were like fire that burns sinful reactions to ashes, and they cried out, "Oh Father, oh Mother, help!" I have to stand up for a bit. I'm starting to get a little bit drowsy. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. Wait, can you hear me okay? Yes. Let's do this. Okay. Sakraje jana bole Shiva heno naam, Sheho kona prasange na jane tatvatan, She khane sarva papa hoite shuddha hoy, Vede shastre bhagavate e tattva hoy. If one does not know the glories of Shiva, simply by chanting his name, one will immediately be purified of all sinful reactions, even if one does not know the glories of Shiva. This is the verdict of the Vedic literatures and the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Gaudiya Bhashya. It is described in the Vedic literatures and in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam that one who, in spite of not knowing Shiva's glories, chants his name even once, is, by the influence of his name, purified of all sins. Simply by the mercy of either Shri Hari, Guru, or Vaishnava, the living entities can become liberated from the sinful reactions that induce one to enjoy the material worlds. Those who consider the spiritual master and Shri Shiva separate from the Supreme Lord commit offense. As soon as one becomes averse to Hari, he is swallowed by sin. The worship of Shri Guru and Vaishnavas is more essential than the worship of the Supreme Lord. These topics are confirmed by the Lord, who is known as Bhakta Vatsal, he who is very affectionate to his devotees. Heno Shiva Nam Shuni Jar Dukha Hoy, She Jan Amangal Samudre Bhasar. One who becomes unhappy on hearing the name of Shiva floats in an ocean of inauspiciousness. And then here's a verse. Where's this verse from? Doesn't give a reference. But Yadvaksharam Nama Kireritam Drinam Sakrit Prasangad Agam Ashuhanti Tat Pavitra Kirtem Tamalangya Shasanam Bhavan Ahodveshti Shivangshivetara. Let's see where this is from. Thanks. This is Śrīmad Bhagavatam 4:4-14. Yeah, 4:4-14. Okay. My dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of 2 syllables, Shi and Va, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him. Alas, you are the personification of inauspiciousness. Shivadane Krishna Chandra bolen apane, Shiva jena puje sheva more puje kene. Lord Krishna Chandra has declared with his own mouth, why would anyone who does not worship Shiva worship me? Mor priya Shiva prati anadar jar ke mote va more bhakti ke mote va more bhakti hoibe tahar. How can a person who disrespects my dear Shiva attain my devotional service? Katam va mai bhaktim sa lavatam papa purusha yo madhyam param bhaktam shivam sampujaye nahi. How can a sinful person who is envious of the Vaishnavas attain devotional service if he does not respectfully worship my dear Shiva? Ataiva sarvadye Shri Krishna puji tabe prite Shiva puji puji beka sarva deve. Therefore, one should first worship Lord Krishna. Then, after worshiping Lord Shiva with love, he should worship all the demigods. And then 484, in the Skanda Puran, it is stated, Pratamam Keshavam Pujam Kritva Deva Maheshwaram Pujaniya Mahabhaktya Jechanye Santi Devata. One should first worship Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the cause of all causes. Then one should worship Maheshwar, the best of the demigods. Thereafter, one should worship all the demigods with full devotion. Heno Shiva Advaitere Bole Sadhu Jane Sheho Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Engita Karane. Because of Lord Chaitanya's indication, Advaita is accepted by all saintly persons as that Shiva. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Caitanya-dev has revealed that Śrī Advaita Prabhu is Vishnu Tattva. He is Vishnu Tattva as the Upadan Karan, the ingredient cause of creation, or the pure Mahesh Tattva. That is why the devotees accept Śrī Advaita Prabhu as equal to the Supreme Lord. The reason that the unalloyed Vaishnavas do not see or associate with Rudra is because the acceptance of Rudra as a Supreme Lord, independent of the Supreme Lord, is certainly an offense against the holy names. If one accepts Shiva as if one accepts Shiva as only a guna avatar and not as a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he commits a grave offense. Ihate arbudagan mahakali kore advaite ramaya na pujiya bhale more. Ignorant people who disagree with this fact cannot understand Advaita's glories and are therefore vanquished. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word kali means argument or quarrel. Nava nava vastra sab dekhe prabhu jata sakala ananta lekhi vare pari koto. I am unable to describe the unlimited varieties of new cloth that the Lord saw. Sambhar dekhiya prabhu. What did it say? It's like 7 rooms filled with cloth. Sambhar dekhiya prabhu mahaharshama Acharya prasangsha koren anukhan. The Lord was greatly pleased to see the arrangements, and he continually praised Advaita Acharya. Eke eke dekhi prabhu shakala sambhar saṅkīrtana sthanete aila punarbar. After seeing every one of the arrangements, the Lord returned to where the saṅkīrtan was being performed. Prabhu matra ailen saṅkīrtana sthane parananda pailen sarva bhakta gane. Sarva bhakta gane. As soon as the Lord came to the place of saṅkīrtan, all the devotees there became filled with ecstasy. Na jani ke kon dike nache gai bai, na jani ke kon dike mahanande dhai. Who can describe the way that the devotees danced, sang, played instruments, and ran about in ecstasy? Gaudiya Bhashya. The word vai means played instruments. Oh, Dandavat Maharaj. Hi. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word vai means played instruments. Tabe kore jai jai maha hari dwani bolo bolo hari bolo ar nahi shuni. Everyone exclaimed Jai Jai as they chanted the name of Hari. Nothing could be heard other than chant chant, Hari Bol, Bolo, Bolo, Hari Bolo. Sarva Vaishnaver Anga Chandane Bhushita, Sabar Sundar Vakha, Malai Purnita. The bodies of all the Vaishnavas were decorated with sandalwood pulp, and their attractive chests were adorned with flower garlands. Shabe Prabhur Parishader Pradhan, Shabe Nrita Gita Kore, Prabhu Vidyaman. They were all intimate associates of the Lord. They danced and sang in the company of the Lord. Mahanande Utilo, Shri Hari Saṅkīrtana, Jedwani Pavitra Kore, Ananta Bhuvan. The sound vibration of the ecstatic congregational chanting of the glories of the Lord purified the entire universe. Nityananda Mahamalla Prema Sukhamoy Balya Bhave Nritya Korilena Atishoy. Nityananda, who is like a wrestler and who is filled with the happiness of Sukhamoy. He danced wildly in the mood of a child. Balya Bhave Nritya Korilena Atishoy. Vivala hoya ati acharya goshai jata nritya korilen tar antanoi. Advaita Acharya was overwhelmed with ecstasy as he danced without stop. Nachilen aneka Ṭhākura Haridas shabe nachin ati paya ullas. Ṭhākura Haridas danced in many different ways as everyone else danced joyfully. Mahaprabhu Shri Gaur Sundar Sarva Sheshe Nritya Korilen Ati Ashesha Visheshe. Eventually, Shri Gaur Sundar Mahaprabhu began dancing in unlimited ways. Sarva Parishad Prabhu Age Nachaya Sheshe Nritya Koren Sheshe Nritya Koren Apane Shabaloya. After first inducing all of his associates to dance, the Lord finally began dancing along with everyone. Mandali Koriya Nache Sarva Bhaktagan, Madhya Nache Mahaprabhu Shri. The devotees danced in groups, and Mahaprabhu Shri Sachinandan danced in the middle. E Mata Sarvadin Nachiya Gaya, Boshilen Mahaprabhu Sabare Loya. After dancing and singing throughout the day, Mahaprabhu sat down with everyone. Gaudiya Bhashya. Another reading for the first line is Sabar Kirtana Shram, Antare Janiya. I like this. Understanding that everyone is becoming fatigued from the kirtan. Sabar Kirtana Shram, Antare Janiya, Boshilen Mahaprabhu Sabare Loya. তবে শেষে আজ্ঞা মাগি অদ্বৈতা আচার্য ভোজনের করিতে লাগিলা সর্বকার্য. Advaita Acharya then took permission from the Lord and went to make all the arrangements for eating. বসিলেন মহাপ্রভু করিতে ভোজন মধ্যে প্রভু চতুর্দিকে সর্বভক্তগণ. Mahaprabhu sat down in the middle to eat, and all the devotees sat around him. Chaturdike Bhaktagan Jeno Tara Choy Madhya Koti Chandra Jeno Prabhur Udoy. The Lord in the middle appeared as effulgent as millions of moons, and the devotees surrounding him resembled the stars. Divya Anna Bahuvida Pishtaka Vyanjan Madhavendra Aradhana Air Randan. There were many varieties of divine rice, milk cakes, and vegetable preparations that Mother Shachi had cooked for the worship of Mahaprabhu Purī. Okay, sorry. Divya Anna. Madhava Puri Kata Kohiya Kohiya Bhojan Koren Prabhu Sarva Bhakta Loya. As the Lord ate with all the devotees, he continually narrated the glories of Mahaprabhu Puri. Prabhu bole Mahaprabhu Aradhana Titi Bhakta hoy Govinde Bhojana koile iti. The Lord said, if one honors the prasad that has been offered during the appearance festival of Śrī Mādhavendra Purī, he will attain the devotional service of Govinda. E matarangi Prabhu Koriya Bhojan, Boshilen Giya Prabhu Kori Achaman. After joyfully finishing his meal in this way, the Lord washed his hands and mouth and sat down. Wow, we definitely have to read this on Mahaprabhu Puri's appearance day when that comes up. Tabe divya sugandhi chandana divya mala prabhur sammukhe ani Advaita tuliya. Advaita then brought fragrant sandalwood pulp and beautiful garlands before the Lord. Tabe Prabhu Nityananda Swaruper age dilen chandanmala maha anurage. The Lord then first affectionately offered sandalwood pulp and a flower garlands to Nityananda Swarup. Tabe Prabhu Sarva Vaishnava Vere Jane Jane Shri Haste Chandana Mala Dilen Apane. Thereafter, the Lord personally offered sandalwood pulp and a flower garland to each and every Vaishnava. Shri Hastir Prasada Paya Bhaktagan Sabar Hoilo Parananda Moiman. When the devotees received these items from the hands of the Lord, their hearts became filled with ecstasy. Ucha kori shabe koren haridvani kibashe ananda hoilo kohite na jani. I cannot describe how happy they all were as they then loudly chanted the name of Hari. Advaiter je ananda antanahitar apane vaikuntanat griha madhye jan. There was no end to Advaita's ecstasy, for the Lord of Vaikuntha was personally present in his house. E shakal ranga prabhu korilen jata manusher shaktiha varni beka koto. How can a human being have the power to describe all these pastimes of the Supreme Lord? Eko divaser jata chaitanya vihar koti vatsare okeho nahe varni bar. Even in millions of years, no one can describe the pastimes that Lord Chaitanya performed in one day. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1:18-23, it is stated, Nava patantyatma saman patatrinas tatat samam Vishnu gatem vipashtita. As the birds fly in the sky as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows. Paki jeno akasher anta nahi pai, jata dur shakti tata dur udi jai. A bird cannot reach the end of the sky. It only flies as far as it is able. E mata chaitanyer jasher anta nai, tiho jata dena shakti tata matra gai. In the same way, there is no end to Lord Chaitanya's glories. One can describe them only as far as one is able. Kashter putali jeno kuhake na chai, e mata gora chandra more je bolai. Whatever I describe is only by the direction of Sri Gaurachandra, just as a puppet dances only by the direction of the puppeteer. E shab khatar anukrama nahi jani, jete mate chaitanyer jasha she bakhani. I do not know the proper sequence of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, yet I am somehow or other trying to glorify him. Gaudiya Bhashya. The author does not have the ability to describe Sri Gaurasundar's pastimes in chronological order. He did not describe the exact day and month of Mahaprabhu Puri's appearance day. He simply chanted and explained Śrī Caitanya's glories under the influence of his heart's emotions. Sarva Vaishnaver paye mor namaskar, ite aparad kichu nahuk amar. Let me offer my respectful obeisances at the feet of the Vaishnavas, so that they may not consider my offenses. Haribol Rasapriya Didi. Shakal punya kata je kore shravan, avashya milaye tare Krishna premadhan. Whoever hears these auspicious narrations will certainly attain the wealth of ecstatic love for Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Chanda Jan, Vrindavana Dasa Tachu Pada Juge Gan. Accepting Śrī Caitanya and Śrī Nityananda, and Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends this English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Antya-khaṇḍa, Chapter 4, entitled Descriptions of Śrī Achyutananda's pastimes and the worship of Śrī Mādhavendra. All right, so that's Chapter 4 completed. And now we're going to just read a little bit of Chapter 5, the pastimes of Nityananda. We have, what time is it? It's 8 o'clock exactly. So we're going to read it until 8:30. All right. Just checking if the video uploaded. Sure it did. Yep, there it is. No views yet, but yeah, if anybody wants to go on a drop a walk. That was just from right before I started reading now today. Okay. Chapter 5, the pastimes of Nityananda. This chapter describes Mahaprabhu's journey from Śāntipura to Śrīnivāsa's house in Kumārahaṭṭa, the Lord's meeting with Śivānanda Sena and Vāsudeva Ṭhākura, the benediction awarded to Śrīvāsa, the Lord's arrival at the house of Śrī Rāghava Pandit in Panihati, his meeting with the devotees there, the Lord's visits to Varahanagar. Oh, it was just is this day, just like, what is it? Yes, 2 days ago? Let's see the calendar. Varahanagar. There is on the 6th, the day before yesterday, was when this pastime took place. Too bad we didn't read it on that day. That would have been cool. So the meeting of the devotees there, the Lord's visit to Varahanagar, and awarding the designation Bhāgavata Acarya to a particular devotee Brahmin Bhagavat reciter. That's a place called Patabadi. It's in Kolkata. I went there recently. The Lord's return to Nilachal. Prataparudra's intense eagerness to meet Mahaprabhu. The king's observation in a dream that Lord Jagannath and Lord Gaurasundar are non-different. The king's meeting with the Lord in a flower garden and humble prayers to the Lord. The Lord's order to Nityananda and his associates to go to Bengal and preach. Śrī Nityananda's preaching love of God in Bengal and his pastimes of delivering the fallen souls. And the chapter ends with an introduction of Śrī Nityananda's associates and the author's humble presentation of himself as the last servant of Śrī Nityananda. Cool. Hare Krishna Amit Tandekar. Okay, so I'm going to skip the in-depth summary. We'll read that another day. But now we're going to start here. And we're reading up to verse 50, what? I think it's 57. Jai Jai Shri Gaura Sundar Sarva Guru, Jai Jai Bhakta Jan Vancha Kalpataru. All glories to Shri Gaurasundar, the spiritual master of everyone. All glories to the Supreme Lord, who, like a desire tree, fulfills the desires of his devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase Sarva Guru is explained as follows. He is the spiritual master of all entities in the spiritual world and in the material world. He is Krishna himself, the original personality of Godhead, The controllers of the material universe are involved with the three modes of material nature, but he is the Lord of Vaikuntha. Jai Jai Nyasi Mani, Shri Vaikuntha Nath, Jiva Prati Koro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat. All glories to the best of sannyasis, the Lord of Vaikuntha. O Lord, please glance mercifully on the living entities. Bhakta Goshti Sahite Gauranga Jai Jai, Jai Jai Shri Karuna Sindhu Dayamoy. All glories to Gauranga, along with his devotees. All glories to the ocean of mercy, who is full of compassion. Sheshakhanda Kathavai Shuno Ekamane, Shri Gaur Sundar Vihari Len Jemone. Oh, brothers, hear with attention the topics of Antya-khaṇḍa, wherein the pastimes of Shri Gaurasundar are described. Kotodin Thaki Prabhu Advaiter Ghare, Aila Kumārahaṭṭa Śrīvāsa Mandire. After staying a few days at the house of Advaita, the Lord went to the house of Śrīvāsa Pandit in Kumārahaṭṭa. Gaudiya Bhashya. The present name of Kumārahaṭṭa is Hali Sahar. It is situated near the Kancharapara station on the East Bengal Railway Station. Śrīvāsa, Shri Śivānanda Sen, Shri Vāsudeva Ṭhākura, and other devotees of Gaur lived at this place. Kancharapara is it's like halfway between Kolkata and Navadip, I think. Anyways. Krishna Dhyananande Boshi, Achen Śrīvāsa, Achambite Dhyan Phal, Sammukhe Prakash. Śrīvāsa was sitting in meditation on Krishna when he suddenly saw the object of his meditation present before him. That's cool. Nija pranat dekhi Śrīvāsa Pandita, Dandavata hoya porila pritivita. Seeing the Lord of his life, Śrīvāsa Pandit fell to the ground, offering obeisances. Shri Charana, he's just meditating on Mahaprabhu, and then all of a sudden he saw Mahaprabhu before him. So he offered his Dandavat pranams. Shri Charana Vakhe Kori Pandita Ṭhākura, Uchai Sware Dirga Shwase Kanden Prachur. Pandit Ṭhākura held the Lord's lotus feet to his chest and sighed deeply as he cried loudly. Gauranga Sundar Śrīvāsa Kori Kole, Sinchilen Angatan Premananda Jale. Gaura Sundar embraced Śrīvāsa and soaked his body with tears of ecstatic love. Sorry. Sukriti Śrīvāsa Goshti Chaitanya Prasade, Shabe Prabhu Dekhi Urda Bahu Kori Kande. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, everyone in Śrīvāsa's household was most pious. They all raised their arms and cried on seeing the Lord. Vaikuntha Nayaka Grihe Paiya Śrīvāsa, Heno Nahi Janen Ki Janmila Ullas. On receiving the Lord of Vaikuntha in his house, Śrīvāsa's happiness knew no bounds. Apane mathai kori uttama asan, dilen boshila thati kamala lochan. He brought a fine seat on his head and offered it to the lotus-eyed Lord, who sat down on it. Chaturdike boshilen parishargan, shabe gayan Krishna nama anukhan. All the Lord's associates sat around him and continuously chanted the name of Krishna. Jai Jai Kore Grihe Pativratagan, Poilo Anandamoy Śrīvāsa Bhavan. The chaste ladies of the house vibrated auspicious sounds, and Śrīvāsa's entire house became filled with ecstasy. Prabhu Ailen Matra Panditer Ghar, Bhartapai Aila Acharya Purandar. When Acharya Purandar heard that the Lord had arrived at Śrīvāsa Pandit's house, he immediately came there. Tahane dekhiya Prabhu pita kori bole, prema beshe mattatane kori lena kole. Upon seeing him, the Lord addressed him as father. Then in ecstatic love, the Lord embraced him. Parama sukriti she acharya purandar, Prabhu dekhi kande ati hoy asambar. Acharya Purandar was most fortunate. He began to cry uncontrollably on seeing the Lord. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word asambar means impatient or uncontrolled. Vāsudeva datta ailena she khane, Śivānanda Sena adi apta varga sane. At that moment, Vāsudeva Datta and various other associates headed by Śivānanda Sen arrived there. Prabhur Parama Priya Vāsudeva Datta Tahar Kripa she Janin Sarva Tattva. Vāsudeva Datta was most dear to the Lord. By the Lord's mercy, he knew all conclusive truths. Sarva Tattva. Gaudiya Bhashya. Descriptions of Śrī Vāsudeva Datta Ṭhākura are found in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 10, verses 41 to 42, chapter 12, verse 57, and also Madhya Lila. And oh my God, this is a long. I'm just going to say the chapters. In chapter 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, and Antya Lila, chapter 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, and 12. Jagater hitakari Vāsudeva Datta Sarvabhute Kripalo Chaitanya Rase Matta. Vāsudeva Datta was the benefactor of the entire world. He was compassionate to all living entities, and he was intoxicated by the mellows of love for Lord Chaitanya. Gaudiya Bhashya. Vāsudeva Ṭhākura was the benefactor of everyone in this world. He was compassionate to all living entities, and he was intoxicated by the topmost of the 5 rasas described by Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Because he was a Mahabhagavat, he did not find faults in others. He was always eager to benefit others, and he had unflinching love for Sri Hari, Guru, and Vaishnava. In the English language, he would be called a great altruist. a greater altruist. Greater, that means if there's anybody, he's greater, right? A greater altruist. Gunagrahi adosha darashi sabha prati Ishvare Vaishnave Jatha Jogya Rati Mati. He would see only the good qualities of others and did not find faults in anyone. Gunagrahi and adosha darashi. He had appropriate love and respect for the Supreme Lord and the Vaishnavas. Gunagrahi adosha darashi. Vāsudeva Datta Deki Shri Gaur Sundar Kole Kori Kandite Lagila Bahutar. When Shri Gaura Sundar saw Vāsudeva Datta, he embraced him and cried profusely. Vāsudeva Datta Dhori Prabhur Charan Uchashware Lagilen Korite Krandan. Vāsudeva Datta grabbed the Lord's lotus feet and began to cry loudly. Vāsudeva Kandite ke ache heno jan Shushka Kashta Pashanadi Koroye Krandan. Who was not affected by the crying of Vāsudeva? Even persons with heart as hard or dry as wood. Persons as hard and as dry wood or stone were moved to tears. Sorry, guys. Gaudiya Bhashya. Even persons whose hearts were as hard as inanimate objects were unable to maintain their composure when they saw Vāsudeva cry. Vāsudeva datter jateka guna sima, Vāsudeva datta vahi nahi ka upama. Vāsudeva Datta had such wonderful qualities that he could be compared only with himself. Heno she Prabhur priti datter vishay, Prabhu bole ami Vāsudever nishchoy. The Lord had such love for Vāsudeva Datta that he would say, I certainly belong to Vāsudeva. Apane Shri Gaura Chandra bole bar bar, E Sharir Vāsudeva Datter Amar. Shri Gaurasundar would repeatedly declare, this body of mine belongs to Vāsudeva Datta. Gaudiya Bhashya, Shri Gaurasundar considered that he had been purchased by Shri Vāsudeva Ṭhākura. In other words, he considered himself the property of Vāsudeva. Datta ama jatha beche, tathai bikai, satya satya ihate anyatha kichunai. Vāsudeva Datta may sell me wherever he likes. Sorry, guys, I need to stand up again. Oh, God. Vāsudeva Datta Mahaprabhu said, Vāsudeva Datta may sell me wherever he likes. This is a fact. No one should disbelieve. Vāsudeva Datter Vatas jar gai, Lagiache tare Krishna rakhibe sadai. One who is touched by air that has touched the body of Vāsudeva Datta will always be protected by Krishna. Satya ami kohi shuno, Vaishnava mandal, E deho amar Vāsudever keval. Listen, O Vaishnavas, I tell you the truth. This body of mine belongs to Vāsudeva alone. Vāsudeva Dattere Prabhur Kripa Shuni, Anande Vaishnavagan Kore Haridvani. When the Vaishnavas heard the Lord's merciful statements about Vāsudeva Datta, they joyfully chanted the name of Hari. I just walked into a chair. Okay. Bhakta baraite gora sundar she jane, jeno kore bhakta teno koren apane. Gaura Sundar knows how to increase the glories of the devotees. As devotees glorify the Lord glorifies the devotees. E matarange Prabhu Shri Gaura Sundar, Kotodin Rohilen Śrīvāsa Ghar. In this way, Shri Gaura Sundar joyfully stayed a few days in the house of Śrīvāsa. Śrīvāsa Ramai Dui Bhai Gunagai, Vivala Hoya Nache Vaikunte Rai. The two brothers, Śrīvāsa and Ramai, glorified the Lord's activities, and the Lord of Vaikuntha became overwhelmed with ecstasy as he danced. Chaitanya Ati Priya Śrīvāsa Ramai, Dui Chaitanya Deho Dvidha Kichunai. Śrīvāsa and Ramai were most dear to Lord Chaitanya. There is no doubt that the two were as good as Lord Chaitanya's body. Saṅkīrtana Bhāgavata Pata Vyavahare, Vidushaka Lilai Ashesha Prakare, Janmayena Prabhur Santosha Śrīnivāsa, Jar Grihe Prabhur Sarvadya Parakash. Śrīnivāsa pleased the Lord in various ways by performing saṅkīrtana, reciting Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and displaying proper etiquette. It was in his house that the Lord first revealed himself. We read about the Sat Prahariya Bhav, right? The Mahaprakash, Lord's Mahaprakash. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrīvāsa pleased Shri Gaurasundar in various ways by performing saṅkīrtana, reciting Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and displaying proper etiquette, filled with great affection and love, devoid of awe and veneration. That is the Gaudiya Bhashya. Ekadina Prabhu Śrīnivāsa Sahita Vyavahar Katha Kichu Kohen Nibrita. One day, in a solitary place, the Lord asked Śrīvāsa about his household affairs. প্রভু বলে তুমি দেখি কোথাও না যাও, কেমতে বা কুলাইবা কেমতে কুলাও. The Lord asked, I see that you do not go anywhere. How then do you maintain your family? And yeah, how then do you maintain your family? And how will you maintain them? Kulaiba and kulao. It says the same thing twice. Anyways. শ্রীবাস বলেন প্রভু কোথাও যাইতে না লয় আমার চিত্ত কহিনু তোমাতে. Śrīvāsa replied, O Lord, I tell you that I don't like to go anywhere. প্রভু বলে পরিবার অনেক তোমার নির্বাহ কেমতে তবে হইবে সবার. The Lord then said, You have a large family. How will you maintain them all? শ্রীবাস বলেন যার আদৃষ্টে যে থাকে সে হইবে কে মিলিবে যেতে পাকে. Śrīvāsa said, One will somehow or other receive whatever he is destined to receive. প্রভু বলে তবে তুমি করহ সন্ন্যাস তাহা না পারিব মুই বলেন শ্রীবাস. The Lord then said, Then you should take sannyas. And Śrīvāsa replied, I cannot do that. Taha na paribo mui. Prabhu bole sannyasa grahana na koriba, bhikha koriteo karo dware na jaiba. The Lord said, You will not take sannyas, and you will not go to anyone's door to beg alms. Kemote koriba parivarer poshan, kichui na bhuji mui tomar vachan. So then how will you maintain your family? I do not understand what you are saying. E kalete kothao na gele na aile, vatamatra kahareo asiya na mile. Nowadays, if one does not go out and bring anything, nothing will come. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase vatamatra means just a little, or even just a small portion, the smallest portion. নামিলিল যদি আসি তোমার দুয়ারে তবে তুমি কি করিব বলহ আমারে. Tell me, if nothing comes to your door, what will you do? শ্রীবাস বলেন হাতে তিন তালি দিয়া. 1, 2, 3. শ্রীবাস বলেন হাতে তিন তালি দিয়া এক দুই তিন এ কহিল ভাঙ্গিয়া. Śrīvāsa clapped his hands 3 times and said, 1, 2, 3. This is a secret. Prabhu bole ek dui teen je kori laki artha ihar bolo keno thali dil. Oops, sorry. Prabhu bole ek dui teen je korila ki arte ihar bolo keno tali dia. The Lord said, What is the meaning of this 1, 2, 3? Why did you clap? Śrīvāsa bolen dorano amar tin upavase jodi na mile ahar tobe satya kaho ghata bhandiya golai pravesh kurimu mui sarvata gangai. Śrīvāsa replied, This is my firm conviction. If I do not receive food for 3 days, then I tell you the truth. I will tie a pot to my neck and drown myself in the Ganga. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word dharano means fixed determination. E matra Śrīvāser shuniya bachan hunkar koriya uthe Shakshir Nandan. As soon as the son of Shachi heard Śrīvāsa's words, he roared loudly and stood up. Prabhu bole ki bolili Pandit Śrīvās, tor ki aner jonna hoibe upas. The Lord said, What did you say? What did you say, Pandit Śrīvās? You will starve for want of food. Jadi kadachit lokhi, o bhikka kore, tatapi ho daridra nahi bo tor ghare. Even if Lakshmi has to beg, your household will not be afflicted by poverty. Gaudiya Bhashya. Even if Lakshmi Devi, the source of unlimited potencies and all opulences, ever faces poverty, the unalloyed topmost devotee, Śrīvāsa Pandit, will never face poverty. Apane je Gita Shastre boliya chomui, taho ki Śrīvāsa ebe pasharile tui. Oh, Śrīvāsa, have you forgotten what I personally said in the Bhagavad Gita? Ananyas chintayanto mam, ye jana parupasate, te sham nityabhyuktanam, yogakshemam vahamyaham. This is the verse Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion and meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Je jana chinte more ananya hoya tare bhiksha deyamui mathai bohiya. I personally carry on my head the needs of any person who thinks of me without deviation. Je more chinte nahi jai karo dware apane asiya sarva siddhi mile tare. All perfection will automatically come to one who thinks of me, but does not go to anyone's door. Dharma artha kama moksha apane aise tatapiha na chai na loy mor dase. Even though religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation automatically come to my servants, they do not look at them. They do not look at them or accept them. They do not look at them or accept them. Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 329.13, it is stated, Sa lokya shashti samipya sarupaikattam apyuta diyamanam nagrinanti vina mat sevanam janam. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, salokya, sarshti, samipya, sarupya, or ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mor sudarshana chakre rakhe mor das, mahapralay o jar nahi ko vinash. My Sudarshan chakra always protects my devotees. Even during the final dissolution, they are not destroyed. Je mohar dasere o koroye smaran, tahare o karomui poshana palan. I personally protect and maintain anyone who remembers even my servant. Gaudiya Bhashya. I bestow mercy on anyone who remembers me. I maintain and protect one who remembers even my servant. The devotee of my devotee is most dear to me. Seva ker dasa she mohar priya boro, anayase she mohare paye doro. The servant of my servant is most dear to me. Such a person easily attains me without a doubt. Kon chinta mor seva ker bhakya kori, mui jar pushta acho sabar upari. How can my servant be in anxiety for food when I am there to maintain him in all respects? Shuke Śrīnivāsa tumi boshi thako ghare, apni asibet sab tomar duare. Oh, Śrīnivāsa, you just sit happily at home. Everything will come to your doorstep. Advaitere tomare amar evar, jaragrasta nahibe dohar kolevar. My benediction to Advaita and you is that your bodies will never be affected by old age. Gaudiya Bhashya. Sri Mahaprabhu gave the benediction that old age would never affect the transcendental bodies of Śrīvāsa and Advaita Prabhu. Rama Panditere Daki Shri Gaur Sundar, Prabhu Bole Shuno Ram Amar Uttam. Sri Gaur Sundar then called Ram Pandit and said, O Ram, listen to what I say. Jeshtavai Śrīvāsere tumi sarvathai, sevibe Ishwar buddhe amar agyar. My order is that you must always serve your elder brother as if he were the Supreme Lord. Pran saho tumi mor, Shri Rama Pandita, Śrīvāsa seva na chariva kodachita. O Sri Ram Pandit, you are as dear to me as my own life. You should never give up the service of Śrīvāsa. Shruniya Prabhur Vakya Śrīvāsa Shri Ram. Antanahi Anande Hoila Purnakam. Hearing the Lord's words, Śrīvāsa and Shri Ram became unlimitedly happy, and their desires were fulfilled. Adyapi ho Śrīvāsa Caitanya Kripai, Tware Shab Upasanna Hoite Che Lilai. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, everything comes to the door of Śrīvāsa, even today. Ki kohivo Śrīvāsa Udar Charitra, Tribhuvana Hoy Jar Smarane Pavitra. How can I describe the magnanimous characteristics of Śrīvāsa? The three worlds become purified simply by remembering him. Satya Sevilen Chaitanya Śrīnivāsa, Jar Gari Chaitanya Takal Vilas. Śrīnivāsa truly served Lord Chaitanya, for Lord Chaitanya enacted his pastimes in his house. Heno range Śrīvāsa mandire gorai, rohilen kotodina Śrīvāsa ichai. In this way, by the desire of Śrīvāsa, Lord Gauranga happily stayed in the house of Śrīvāsa for a few days. Ṭhākura Pandita Sarva Goshtir Sahite, Anande Bhashan Prabhu Dekhite. Pandit Ṭhākura and his family members all floated in an ocean of bliss as they constantly saw the Lord. Kotodin Thaki Prabhu Śrīvāsa Ghare, Tabe gela Pani hatir Ghava Mandire. Oh, Raghav, sorry. Tabe gela Pani hati Raghav Mandire. After staying a few days at Śrīvāsa's house, the Lord went to Raghav's house in Panihati. So we'll continue reading about that, the Lord's pastimes in Raghav Pandit's house in Panihati, tomorrow. That's our reading for today. Since I'm out here, maybe I'll let you have, I'll show you darshan of our Ṭhākuraji here. Is our all right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Gurudeva ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupar Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishta Mahabhagavat Shri Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj, Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath, Shar Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki Jai, Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Śrī Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai, Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Saṅkīrtana ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri the what is it? The Appearance Day Festival in the House of Advaita Acharya for Śrī Mādhavendra Purī ki jai. All the pastimes in the House of Advaita Acharya ki jai. Śrī Achyutananda ki jai. Then the Lord's arrival in Sri Kumārahaṭṭa in the house of Śrīvāsa Pandit ki jai. Śrīvāsa Pandit's brother Ramai Pandit ki jai, who's, what is it, Parashar Muni, is it? All the family members of Śrīvāsa Ṭhākura ki jai. Jai Shri what is it? Vāsudeva Datta Ṭhākura ki jai? No. And Shri Śivānanda Sena ki jai. Sorry, I have such a bad memory. Anyways, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Sattvatai Namo, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu, Nari Hari Prabhu, and Pavatarani Mataji, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, and let's see on YouTube and Facebook, there is Raseshwari Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, Suman Shil Ji, Vangshiwala Prabhu, Rasapriya Didi, Amit Dandekar, and Krishnamai Didi, and everybody. Dandavat pranams. Thank you, Rukmini Didi. Haribo. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow to read about Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Panihati at the house of Raghav Pandit. And also, I think we'll hear about Raghava Acharya. No, what is his name? Anyways, we'll get there. So, Jai Shri Radhe. See you tomorrow. Haribo. Oh, as I mentioned before, if you want to go to my YouTube channel, I did a japa walk. I recorded a video going all the way from the place here, all the way to Srila Tribhikam Goswami Maharaj's Samadhi and back. I don't know. I'm not sure if it would be distracting or whatever, but if you like,